everyone. When y divided by x plus x divided by y equals negative 3 divided by 2, we're going to find the value of sine of theta minus cosine of theta when we have a point on the unit circle in quadrant 2. So basically I just drew a little picture here. So there's your circle. And since it's on the unit circle, that means my radius is 1. So this would be 1, 1, negative 1 here, and negative 1 here. So this radius here is 1. R equals 1. Since my radius is 1, I'm going to have my sine of theta equals y divided by r, but r is 1. So that just means sine of theta is y. And same thing for cosine of theta equals x. So let's go ahead and substitute this in for our values. So we're going to have sine of theta divided by cosine of theta plus cosine of theta divided by sine of theta. Now getting the common denominator, I'll put sine first. Sine of theta, cosine of theta, and then just cross those and you get sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta. Now this equals 1 with your Pythagorean identities here. So that equals 1. So you have 1 divided by sine of theta times cosine of theta, and that's going to equal negative 3/2. Another way to say this is we can write this as sine of theta times cosine of theta equals negative 2/3. And I just flipped both of these around. All right, so we're going to be using that in a few minutes. All right, now let's continue on. And we're going to look at this right here. So we have sine of theta minus cosine of theta. So what I'm going to do is square it. And that's going to help me because we have that sine of theta times cosine of theta equals negative 2/3. So when I expand this, I'm going to get sine squared of theta minus 2 sine theta cosine theta plus cosine squared of theta. Now these two right here, when you add these, that gives you 1. So this is going to equal 1 minus 2 sine of theta times cosine of theta. Again, using my Pythagorean identity here. Now, we know what this equals, so I'm going to substitute that in. So that's going to be 1 minus 2 times negative 2/3. Now that's going to equal 7 divided by 3. And again, this equals sine of theta minus cosine of theta squared. So now let's square root both sides. So we're going to get sine of theta minus cosine of theta equals plus or minus square root of 7 divided by 3. Now what we have to go back to is the fact that our point on the unit circle is in quadrant 2. Alright, so that means when you're in quadrant 2, your sine of theta is positive and your cosine of theta is negative. Alright, so basically when you have sine of theta minus cosine of theta, and our cosine of theta is negative, this is going to be minus a negative. And so this is going to be positive, positive. So this is going to be positive. That means our sine of theta minus cosine of theta is only going to be positive square root of 7 divided by square root of 3. We're not going to take the negative. All right. And then it's helpful to rationalize the denominator here. So this will be square root of 21 divided by 3. Usually they don't like you to leave the answer like that. So rationalize your denominator, and this will be your value. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.